Dope ass dude podcast. Transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustle and grind. Transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustle and grind.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, the dope ass dude. Happy Monday to you, and I'm really excited to be back with you guys on tonight. I mean, we have an amazing show lined up. The guests tonight, they are powerhouses, and they definitely have a lot to share with you all on tonight. So I'm really excited about having them on. So you guys already know the preliminary things. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you don't mind going ahead and subscribing to the YouTube channel, and while you're there, click on notifications so that you can be notified each and every time a new podcast is uploaded to the site. And then go ahead and click on like so it can be shared with others just like you. Now, if you're not unable to catch it on Monday nights, you can always catch it on the go. It's on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Again, that's Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And then you can watch it live on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. So again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And finally, if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, if you don't mind going ahead and follow me on both of those platforms at the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. Again, that's on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me at the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. And we'll put this up a little bit later, but we're going to go ahead and get this out the way as well. You can follow Shani. You can follow her on Instagram and TikTok as Shani Scott on air. So again, on Instagram and TikTok, you can follow her as Shani on air, Shani Scott on air. And that is Shani Scott on air. Again, Shani Scott on air. And then you can also catch up with her on her website, and that is mediaroom360.com. So again, Shani, you can follow her on Instagram and TikTok at Shani Scott on air. And then you can just catch up with her on her website at mediaroom360.com. And then Dr. Letitia, you can follow her on Facebook. You can follow her on Facebook at Letitia Scott. And then on Instagram, and you can follow her at Keeping Families Connected. And then TikTok, Tisha J. So again, that's going to be on Facebook, Letitia Scott on Facebook, Instagram, Keeping Families Connected, and then TikTok, Tisha J. And then you can also, and I checked out her website, you can go out there and get a little bit of everything. Her upcoming book that's dropping on March 15th, you can get the book there, and you can follow her at LetitiaScottJackson.com. Again, that's www.LetitiaScottJackson.com. So you guys already know this whole season of the podcast is basically based on the songs that are on the K. Renee CD that I was blessed to write. That CD, the whole podcast, the whole season is based on that. So tonight is talking about the song I See Red. And pretty much what the song is talking about is pretty much looking back on your life in hindsight, and you can see those little things that God protected you from and that he covered you from, while in real time it was a little bit hard for you to get out of those things. So I reached out to my good friend Jackie, and I asked her if she knew of someone that I could have on the podcast. Jackie watched the podcast all the time, and I reached out to her, and she instantly responded back. She was like, yeah, I have two people. And she put Shani's name, and she put Dr. Letitia's name in the thing. She said, well, let me check with them and see if they're able to come on. And then she said, well, what if both of them can come on? I said, well, look, bring them on. We'll do it. And so Jackie is one of those people She's like extraordinary. She's just this amazing woman, and I love her tremendously. You guys may remember Jackie, her husband. I spoke on about her a couple of times on the podcast. Recently, her husband passed back at the end of 2025, and Jackie, she's at a new phase of her life, and I love watching her evolve into this new person at this new season of her life, because she shared with me her husband was her soulmate. She knew that they were supposed to be together, and life changed. But she is evolving into this new being that is just like incredible to watch. So I'm really excited about my friendship with her. And then Jackie is also the one that she asked me if that time I was playing the piano behind Gail Buckle. She asked me, she was like, "What's that AI on the piano?" I was like, "No, that was me, like for real, that was me." And she thought it was AI. So I'm really happy that like she's a funny character. So I'm gonna bring Shani out first so you guys can meet her. Shani, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad I wore red. 'Cause
Why
I
is
see
that?
red. I see red, so got on red.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh wow. Let's see where to begin. So I'm a mom. That is my most proudest accomplishment is becoming a mom to these wonderful teenage girls that I have. I if you would have asked me this when I was 25, I would have never thought in a million years that I'd be a mom and as hands on as I am with my daughters. And then the other part of that is I work in broadcasting. That's something I started when I was 16. So this will be year 32. September will make 32 years in broadcasting. And you know, that's been a journey. That's been a journey too. I couldn't ask for anything best. I got the best things in out of life that God could have gave me. Two amazing daughters and an amazing career. So I really can't complain.
Yeah, and it's funny. Earlier today, when you and I chatted, and you said, "Yeah, I've been in broadcast for like 30 years or whatever," and I had seen your picture and everything. I was like, "Did she start when she was about 3 years old or something?"
Yeah, I started when I was 16. So I was six. So I'm 49 now. I made 49 last November. Yay. So 50 is going to be something amazing because I I really am shocked that I made it to 50 because it could have ended there's so many times that it could have ended. And I mean bad, from being robbed at gunpoint, from having major sicknesses that took me out, to domestic violence, to it's so many times that it really could have ended, like for real, like this could have been it. So to be here and walking into 50 in November, the only thing I can do is say is God. Oh, I know that. I know He got me through all of that because, like, when I got robbed, I was I might have been 19, and you see, I don't have no problem talking, and I'm from Oak Cliff, Texas. Okay, so this dude done put a gun on me, called me the B word, trying to take, and I'm like, wait a minute, like this really happened. I was like, wait. I'm the B word and you robbing me? Is this what
Oh
this is
wow.
what's happening? And I was with somebody else, and of course it scared them because they gave everything, and I was like, well, I gave him the purse, and he's telling me that it's not the purse. So it sounded like he got, like, this whole conversation goes on while this gun is pointed at me, and eventually he gave me back my purse and took an empty wallet and left with it. And it wasn't until afterwards, or when I tell that story now, that I'm like, girl, you was arguing with somebody that had a gun with bullets in it on you. But for me, it was the disrespect. It's like, how I'm the B word and you robbing me in the middle of the night? No, surely you got that wrong. There ain't nothing in here. You could take that gun to the pawn shop
So,
and get
Shani, how do
you.
you bounce back from something like that? Like, how did you
um,
bounce back from that? Because I can't even imagine
I
somebody
don't
pulling
know.
a
It
gun.
didn't. It really didn't. It didn't. Honestly, it didn't phase me. It was like it was another Sunday. It was another Wednesday. Not that I grew up around a lot of violence, but that ain't the first time I saw a gun, being pulled or used in a situation like that. It wasn't something that I saw every day by any means, but had I seen it before? Yeah. Like that having a car wreck affects me more than that, than what that did.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It is something about, I think if he would have just robbed me and didn't call me the B word, it would have been different. But it's something about that word when somebody calls me that and you're being disrespectful. I go into it's like a tunnel vision, and it's like, wait a minute. Now I'll be a lot of things, but what we not gonna do? And you have because when I feel disrespected, then I start rationalizing everything. And my friends tell me that it's like, no, when they cross that line, there is no coming back, and all you see is tunnel vision. It's just you and that person. You don't know what else is going on around you. And I don't know. It's something about that word. Something about being disrespected like that.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm trying not to get ahead because, yes, so many questions. But I do have one question before we do, because we're going to get into all of that. Trust me. Mm-hmm. So with radio, I'm just going to shift a little bit. With radio has changed a whole lot from when back in the day. So how did you evolve and continue to be in broadcasting? Because a lot of people have stopped.
Oh, because I needed a check. So yeah, because I needed a check. Now, like I said, I started when I was 16. So when I came in, we were on tape and something called carts. We hadn't quite got to CDs yet. So with tape, you actually, like if I recorded a commercial, it went on tape, like the tape in the cassette player. If you made a mistake, you had to figure out where to slice the tape and tape the tape back together to make it run. Right. And carts look like 8 tracks. So that's what all the music and all of your commercials and all of your programming was on, unless it was unless they had a cassette. So we went from that to CDs. That was an easy change because I'm young, right? I'm young. So, all right, yeah, we're moving with technology. So we switched to CDs. Now, where it got tricky when I was about 30, about 35, 36, around there, when we went into digital. Meaning we have websites that you can listen to the radio station on. And with those websites, they want content on it. Okay, I got in radio because I didn't have to do this. I wanted to go to work, my hair in a ponytail, my sweatpants, flip-flops, because all I got to do is talk. Nobody has to see me. Well, now we're in a world where they got to see you. You got to be on Facebook. You got to share. And I don't like sharing information. I'm like, they don't need to know nothing about me. All they need to know is what I say on this radio. That's it. And it wasn't in like right about 35, 36. It was a struggle because I was in corporate radio and I wasn't doing what I had to put out to the people up under me, which was creating the posts to go on the website and posting to the social media because I just didn't want to do it. It was stupid to me. And then when I saw, okay, well, you're going to get fired if you don't do this, I guess I'm going to make these posts. But so when you're in something, you have to be willing to evolve with it. And that is hard because I see some of my friends that, have been in it maybe 20, 25 years. And these things are starting to come. And it depends on what radio group you're working with. So what I'm talking about happened, 13 years ago, we talking about 2013, 2012, right? And that was with a different kind of radio group. I mean, it was an urban AC station, but it was owned by, them other people. Then when you go to a black radio group, it's 2026 and we're just now starting to do this. So I see it happening again. And so, some of my friends, I'm like, listen, just do it because they'll get somebody else that'll come in here and do it for a lot less money than what they paying you, and they already paying us a whole lot less money than what we were making before. And that's because of social media. They the influencers that wanted to be on the radio or TV, they didn't have to pay them as much because they had numbers, and they were just happy to get this other platform, not knowing that no, honey, they are probably making a good $2 million a quarter off of you, and they only paying you $25,000 a year.
Wow.
But some people you can't give them the game. They don't understand. They can't see. They can't see what's really going on. And that's what happened. That's what happened. So.
So, okay, I'm going to send you out, and I'm going to bring Dr. Jackson out, and then we'll bring you back out.
Okay.
All righty. Dr. Jackson, Dr. Scott Jackson, what's going on?
Not a thing. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. So okay, so I'm going to tell y'all about this lady here, just talking with her a little bit. When I tell you she has about 15 projects going on right now that she's executing every last one of them effectively.
No, Lord. Not 15. I'll take it though, because I can handle it. But
yeah, you can handle it.
That's not what I'm doing. Oh my.
So Dr. Jackson, tell us a little bit about yourself.
You just told them. You said I'm doing no. Listen, you guys, I'm Dr. Letitia Scott Jackson, and I thank you for the opportunity to be able to share on the night. Let me do that first. For the people that don't know me, I'm a visionary at heart. Like, if I think it is done, I don't care if it takes 2 days, 20 minutes. I'm just one of those people. When God gives me something to do, I'm doing it and I'm gone. I'm a published author. I'm a public speaker. I'm a playwright. I'm a film producer. I'm a musician. I'm a songwriter. What else I am? I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother of 11. I have 6 godchildren that I take care of. So you're talking about 11 plus 6. I take care of 16 of the 17 I actually help. I also have hundreds of kids because I have an organization called Keeping Families Connected, where I do free luxury prison trips, free breakfast and free lunch to and from correctional facilities all over the state of Texas, for individuals, especially children that have incarcerated parents and those individuals that have incarcerated loved ones. Also, you already know, everybody that knows me know that they call me the Queen of Giving, or they call me Miss Proof in the Pudding, because every year I do celebrity basketball game. I bless 300 to 350 kids out of pocket with backpacks filled with supplies, sometimes uniform shirts, trophies, let them play ball with the celebrities. I just do for other people that what no one did for me when I was at my lowest. So I am that, but most importantly, I'm a believer and I'm a child of the Most High. And I just love my life right now. And I thank God I'm still on top of the dirt, and that the dirt is not on top of me.
So with everything that you have going on, and I just definitely want to, because I want you to talk about something, because before we started, Dr. Jackson shared with me about the luxury tours that she gave out. So when I repeated it back to her, I paused at prison, and she said, "Why did you pause at prison?" Because I thought I had heard her wrong, but she takes kids. So how did you create that, and what put that on your heart to do that for them? Because I think that's amazing.
So and I did a research. I had my brother from Australia do a research when I got ready to start, because God gave it to me. I told you I'm a writer, so sometimes I keep most times, 99% of the time, I got something to write with on the side of my bed and something to write on. And so sometimes God give me a title, and it may be a song, it may be a poem, it may be whatever. But when he gave me Keeping Families Connected, I said, this is not a song. I'm like, Kate Williams, this can't be a song. Got to be something else. But I was wrongfully convicted in 2011 by the federal government. My only son had been killed a couple of years before that in a car wreck. God showed me 3 days in a row he was going to die, and some people were behind him chasing him. We just opened a clothing store in Baton Rouge, and I'm from Louisiana, and I guess they thought we had a lot of money, but he was trying to get on the interstate. He flipped the truck. He died. I moved to Texas. And this guy committed a fraud against my business from Louisiana. The feds come to Texas, arrest me. I go to let me go. I go the next day to to talk to the people in Louisiana, and I was wrongfully convicted because someone committed a fraud against my business, and so I had to fight the case because I went back to federal court before the same federal judge that I went before when I was a drug dealer. He didn't give me the benefit of the doubt. He didn't do his research. So when I got my paperwork back from the Fifth Circuit courts, the paperwork read, "You have won your appeal because we've never seen a judge or an attorney overlooking errors so great." So I won my appeal, but I had already sat in prison from 2011 to 2013. This was not long ago. So when I came home, I'm like, God, why did I have to sit there to leave my children with people that my mom and dad were both deceased? Their grandparents died after Katrina. Their dad was my first husband, and if he didn't have a woman with some money, we didn't get nothing. So I had nowhere to send my kids but back to Louisiana with the people from the church that I thought I could trust. And that didn't work. So that's why my first book was Where the Real Church Folks At When You Need Them. And that's a whole nother story. I'll tell you about that one later on in the interview. But because I was wrongfully convicted and nobody brought my children to see me the whole time I was in prison, and you're talking about losing my only son who was 17, my mom and dad both deceased, sitting here in Texas in prison, and I wrote all the prominent churches here in Texas that I had heard about. And I started the letter with, "I don't need your money. I just need somebody to bring my kids to see me or take them to church." And not one church wrote me back. So that's why I started it.
Wow. 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 And so the entire time you was there, no one brought your children to see you?
No.
Wow. So let me just ask you this here, because you know both sides of the thing. So when that didn't happen, in prison, wrongfully convicted, how did that add on to what you were feeling? Like, what was going through your mind at the time?
You can't even begin to imagine because we haven't even walked the journey. Like, my dad takes a 15-year sentence for me being an AME preacher because I got busted with the drugs in his house, and they give him 15 years. My mom dies while I'm in prison. My dad do time for me, get out and die. My grandmother died, then my son. So I had to go through all that. Then to get here and get wrongfully convicted because someone lied about them owning a business, and I'm sitting in prison with just broken. I was broken. I was mad. I was angry. I had already told God I was done with him. Like, me and him were never going to be friends no more. I wasn't playing for the church. I've been playing for the church since I was 12. I can play this stuff in my sleep. I play by ear. And I'm like, at the time I was paying my tithes, but I was still giving them something. And I'm like, oh God, I mean, you're not friends no more. I'm done with you. I was like, God, I'm done with you. You out of here. I'm done with you. If you let my son die, because he showed me 3 days in a row he was going to die. Then to go to prison and sit there and go through all of that, and to be in the room with all these people, and all my roommates were Hispanic. It was 3 of them. It was federal prison. And so every night they were crying. I used to be a gangster. I'm a saved gangster now. I'm a gangster saved by grace. Sinner gangster saved by grace. That's me right now. You know what I'm saying? I've never done drugs, never took a drink, never smoked a cigarette, never hoarded the streets, never had a job. If it didn't make money, I didn't want no parts of it. Just simple as that. So all these people did was cry. And they were crying because their caregivers could not bring their children to see them. Because now when you go to federal prison, they got people, you take somebody across the border in your trunk, you going to jail. You get caught with a gun, you ain't got a pot and a window to chunk it out of, and they put you in federal prison. When I went to the feds for selling drugs, they didn't send people that were broke to federal prison, just keeping it real. Now you go, and now these people are disadvantaged, they're impoverished, and all they did was cry because nobody could bring me. I couldn't even pay nobody to bring mine to see me. So that's why all of this came about.
Wow. So do you, because, you know, and this is just looking in hindsight, and this is kind of like what the podcast is about tonight. Well, I'm going to ask, before I go there, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Shani. How do you bounce back from something as devastating as that? How do you bounce back and be who you are today? Because a lot of people, they get caught up in their stuff. Like when that would have like crippled somebody, what Shani went through, someone pulled a gun on her, that would have crippled them. And then here it is, you and wrongfully convicted. Your dad died, your mother died, your dad went to prison, your son died, and then you get here. I'm sorry, and then you get in prison and no one's there to support you. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to bounce back from that, Letitia.
I know.
So how did you do it?
Nobody but God. I prayed. At first I was mad with God, but I had to repent because I was so mad with God. I was like, why did my son die and these other people kids were in the truck with him and they didn't die? Like, I'm asking the people, like, why y'all kids didn't die? Why my son had to die? And so I had to repent because I stopped playing for the church. I stopped going to church. I stopped hustling legally. I had two clothing stores. I walked off and left everything I had. And one night I was laying in the bed and I said, this don't make no sense. I don't have nothing. My kids, I hadn't put them in school because I was so depressed. That's jail, more jail time, but I'm not doing nothing that I'm supposed to be doing. And so I got on my knees and I asked God to forgive me for every bad thing I had ever said. And I said, God, if you just get me out of this rut. See, I'm one of them people, I can hit rock bottom today, baby, and I'm going to come up with something tomorrow because that's just my mentality. And so I was like, God, I can't do this no more. This is just not what it is. And so I repented, and that's what kept me. That's what helped me to get to where I am today. I repented. I just had to warm up. I had to get in my word. And see, let me tell you, people, because of how people did me, they don't bother me, period, no more. I pray for people and I keep it pushing.
Wow. Okay, so I got a lot of questions for you too. Y'all getting ahead of me. Y'all done came out and slapped me in my face with your story, and I ain't even asked you.
Get over it.
I ain't even asked you about your book that's coming out on March 15th. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, listen. So when I came home in 2013, I was basically broke, busted, and disgusted. You know, living with my sisters just from pillar to post, and that was not my MO, if you know what that means. It just wasn't how I rocked. And so I was like, okay, God, I gotta come up with something. I gotta do something. And so I started helping people open businesses and writing, helping people start nonprofits. Never had any. I went to college in federal prison when I was a drug dealer for a semester, and I said, this not for me, because if I'm gonna sit here 8 hours, I can make some money in 8 hours. I'm not gonna do that. So from 2015, my now husband, we moved into a house together. We were married, and he built a software to help people change their life. And he built this out of algorithms and binary numbers, believe it or not. And I've always had a go-getter mindset. So we were still selling clothes, shoes, doing all this stuff, you know, just making ends meet. But being a money magnet, because you're talking about the average person saying, I'm flipping clothes on the streets out my trunk. But here we were selling, I'm just gonna keep it real. We were selling the fake Timberland boots, the UGG boots, all this stuff. Real is rare. That's my motto. I'd rather be real and rejected versus being fake and accepted. The iPhones, everything you could think of legally. And in a month's time, we made $50,000, $60,000. So then we start taking our money and investing it. So the book, The Millionaire in You, is helping people. It's bringing awareness. It's a self-help, but it's also spiritual, because people think they have to stay where they are. Like, oh, can't nobody be a millionaire, but the people on TV, the athletes, these mega preachers and all that. No. So the book says the millionaire in you, see yourself in it. It's not hard. Once you make your first 10,000, it's easy to make 20,000. Once you get there, it just goes on and on. We make life complicated, but yet it's so simple. I'm done with that. Mhm.
And you said you were like well, not so much homeless, like living on the street, but you were living with your sister and them when you first came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Wow.
And guess
Okay.
what? Everything I ever wanted when I was a drug dealer, I could never get it because God had already anointed my hands. I started playing the piano when I was 12 years old, walking in my sleep. I was sleepwalking. And Shani was talking about the cassette tapes and the 8 tracks. I listened to them. My dad was a quartet. He had a quartet group. And so I would just listen to the songs, and that's how I learned how to play. Then when I wanted to play bass guitar, I did the same thing. When I wanted to do the drums, I did the same thing. So it's about applying yourself.
Yeah. So, okay, so are you excited about your new book coming out? And like, where do you think this book is going to go?
Believe it
Or
or
where
not,
do you want it to go?
I'm more excited about this one than I was with any of them. I told you this one has 100 ways for people to make money legally that people don't even think of. Something simple as me paying you to use your voice. You know, you may speak better than I do. You may pronounce your words better than me. So it's different things in here. You don't have felonies. You can get a job. You can be a mobile notary. I paid somebody $300 to notarize a sheet of paper just so I wouldn't have to leave the house. So I'm saying there's so many things that people don't think of, but this one I'm excited about because I can see it changing people's lives, changing their mindsets, because I'm talking more to the mental end of people. That's why it says see yourself in it. Can you see her yet? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? The same old, same old, same old, same old. Well, it's time for a change.
Okay. Yeah, I got a lot of questions. So we're gonna bring Shani out. Shani, you ready to come out? She ready. She's smiling, so she ready to come out. What's going on, Shani? Welcome back.
Yeah, Dr. Letitia. Listen, I heard her story. She came by the station. I gotta have her come back. Like I was like, nah, we gotta do more because she does have such a powerful story that is not only encouraging, but it's motivating. It gives a lot of hope to anybody.
Right.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this, ladies, this question, and I'm gonna ask everybody that's out there watching too. I want you guys to put it in the comments. What situation, and you all have just told us a couple already, but in your life, what situations happened to you at one point, but now when you look back, you see that there was God shielding or protecting you or keeping you from something? Put that in the comment. What one thing that has happened to you in the past that now in hindsight you see that it was, back then it seemed like it was hurting you, but now you see it was to help you? Put it in the comments and let's talk about that. So both of you ladies, so both of you have gone through, like I said, some things that most people wouldn't have been able to survive. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to survive that, but y'all look like amazing. Are there ever times that those moments tend to creep up in your mind? Do they ever come back and make you think like, oh, well, you're not good enough for this? Or do people try to hold y'all to those moments? And we'll start with you, Shani.
So absolutely. So I for years had a bad battle with suicide, real bad. Like since I was a kid, suicidal thoughts, and it was always because I felt like, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. I knew what I was capable of and what I could do, but there were things that were not happening, like the relationship with my dad, or maybe I mess up on something. So, and it would have to be extreme, but everybody's extreme is different, and that's what you have to understand. And so I would get to that point where I was ready to end it all. I actually did. My first attempt was when I was 22, turning 23. So I ended up spending my 23rd birthday in a mental institution because I had attempted the night before and it didn't work. And I got up and went to work. So at that time, I was doing graphics and the floor director for one of the news stations. And then I also worked at the radio station as a promotions director and midday personality. So when I went in at 4 to, run news, my news director noticed something was wrong. Okay, because I went to work and, was doing the, same old, same old. And he ended up calling the police on me, and they stopped me as I was leaving on my way to the station. And, they talked to me, found out. And I told him, yeah, I made an attempt. Yeah. I mean, because I don't see the point. What is the point to keep, I get up and I do the same thing every day, and I'm not getting any new results.
Mm.
So they took me to the mental institution, and I stayed there. And I always say this. I said, yeah, I had a crazy house birthday party because somebody brought me a cake. you know, but I was there. And the thing about it is I didn't care. I didn't care that the people knew the girl from the radio station and TV station was in the I didn't care because I'm like, I don't even know you. What do you contribute to me? You don't even understand what I'm going through. Y'all just trying to feed me medicine to make me better. This isn't working. But we got through that. But my last thought, because this was not an attempt. But last year, this was before my 49th birthday, I went to Panama City. This is the first time I ever went on vacation by myself without my kids. I went for a whole week, but I took my 9mm with me, and I'm having a good time. Like, I'm getting up, I'm going to the beach, I'm working out, I'm just doing what I want to do, not having to answer to mommy, 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 mommy. And about that third day I was there, I was in the bed, just watching TV, happy. But my 9mm was right next to me, and this voice like, oh, you could just end it all here. You ain't got to go back to this, because between now and then, what you don't know is that I've had a stroke. I had to learn how to read, write, and walk and talk again. Had to get my vision back. After that, I had a heart attack on air. Then after that, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. Then after that, I had COVID. Then after that, I had something called diverticulitis. Then after that, I got evicted with my kids from my apartment. Then after that, I'm working this job that doesn't pay me 3 times anything. So trying to find somewhere to live, it's just, okay, wherever we can go. But people only see Shani Scott on, the fake book and the fake Instagram, and they think everything's good because that's where we have to post. And I didn't even mention the domestic violence. The man telling me he gonna kill me and my kids, and me and my kids having to move from hotel to hotel, all while I'm trying to start a business. And fortunately, the gentleman didn't kill me, but he did kill somebody else. He's in prison now that I had to be a part of. So all of this has happened, and all of that goes to what happened in Panama City. Like, girl, you getting ready to be 49. You don't have nowhere to live. You ain't bounced back. You can't pay for everything for your kids. You struggling. Whatever paycheck to paycheck is, I'm not that. I'm like, whatever is below that, that's me. And it was just like, and then you done came out here to West Palm Beach. You ain't got no money. Just end it all. And it was crazy because I was like, but I'm happy right now. And I had this conversation with myself. It's like, okay, every time, all those things that I told you that I went through, every time that happened, I fight to live. So why is it that when you have a thought, you just ready to give it up all? But when something is trying to take it from you, like the guy robbing me, he trying to take I'm ready to fight him. He got a gun, but I'm ready to fist fight. But just because of a thought is so strong that it'll shut me down. And after that, I was like, nah, we can't do that. A thought can't take us there. You fight to live for everything else, but you won't fight to live for yourself. So that day, I was like, okay. Now, I still got my 9mm, but I ain't never thought about putting it up against my head again.
And I think that's, the thing is, and I share this a lot, is that we are constantly healing in real time because
Mm-hmm.
something can happen that triggers something in us that we thought we were over like years ago. And then that thought comes in, and next thing we know, we find ourselves back in that same position that we were many years ago, feeling the same hurt we felt many years ago. So I'm glad that you didn't go through with
Mm-hmm.
that, because your life has so much more for you. So I'm extremely glad that you didn't fall for the trick of the enemy in that moment and listen to it, because I mean, you have kids. You were telling me about your daughters, and how at 25 you never would imagine you would be the type of mom you are today. So you got people depending on you, people who look up to you, and people, it's funny, people that would die to have your shoes on with your problems, because their life to them is so much worse than your life
Mm-hmm.
that you think your life is. But I do have to ask you this here, because Dr. Letitia was talking about being real. Do you think the pressure of having to be on because of your job, and you having to post on Facebook, and we can't post our bad moments on Facebook? Do you think that may have
Mm-hmm.
added to you comparing to what you were posting to who you are, and finding a difference in that? Like, how were you
Mm-mm.
able to do all of that?
Mm-mm. No, because I put the bed on Facebook. see,
Okay.
see, that's the problem. Like I have to tell my girl, don't you put that up there and say that to, because like the situation I was talking to you about, the person lied on me and tried to attack my character. Well, we got to the bottom of that, and I don't even know the person don't even know me. They just saw me working somewhere and got intimidated and sent a letter to my job. Don't know me, and I really wanted to hit live and say, okay, let me tell you one or two things. That's me. So comparing to people, I really don't care about other people's thoughts, and that's something that I try to teach my girls, because now they have that bad, and it's weird because I'm like, I ain't never cared what nobody thought. I was always the oddball in high school. I got friends, but it's just I didn't march to the beat of their drum. I love them, but it's not what I do. And they respect me and my decisions, and that I'm a little, people say I'm a little, okay, I'm a little different. I'll take that. The pressure for me is not, having these kids, and, there was a lifestyle that they were used to, they were accustomed to. And we had to change that when I had cancer, because I had to let go of my corporate job. We had to live off my 401k. They adjusted to that fine. But when it got to me getting evicted, where I'm getting kicked out of my place in real life, to where right now that eviction is still there because I owe that property $20,000. And that property manager, he knew I was in the hospital, and he helped me as much as he could. That's why the bill is so high. And I had to go tell him, I said, listen, I appreciate you looking out for me and my daughters. I do. But don't you lose your job trying to help me. If you got to push them papers through, you do what you got to do, and it's going to work out for me. It's something that's going to, work out. And he worked with me, because that was the thing. He was like, but you used to pay your rent 6 months at a time. I said, yeah, but I ain't there now. We can't, I can't pay 6 days right now. So you have a family, you take care of you. And here we are. We're here. We've never had to sleep in the car.
Okay.
But I still speak this, and I claim this for you, because I'm a living testimony of that. Things that I thought were in real time, you think they're breaking you. But then later, when you go back and you look at it, you see how it was helping you. And then it was also making you more understanding to people, a better witness to people. You can
Mm-hmm.
relate to people better, because you can say, well, I know how that feels. I've been in those shoes, and then you can help walk them through it. So, Shani, I think your future is brighter than you ever can imagine. And I'm not just saying
Mm-hmm.
that to you
I
because,
agree.
like, all of this stuff you done been through, it ain't like just God putting you through it for nothing. I mean, it's for
Right.
a greater
Yeah.
purpose. It's for a
Yeah.
greater purpose. That ain't happened yet, but it's coming. And you're gonna look back at all of that stuff. That one man you told about, hey, take care of your family. You're gonna be telling people how God will send somebody to jeopardize what they have to bless you. So all of that's gonna be a part of your story. Now I can't wait to see you in 5 years, so I can hear all of this. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. So, Dr. Letitia, so have you? Do people try to hold you to when you went, your past, do they try to hold you to that?
all the time. I had all the time. And my pastor used to say, he God rest his soul. One time, I used to let people, because I changed my life, I don't want to be Chucky. That's my nickname. It's been my name since I was born. So I was Chucky before the doll ever came about. So to my family, if they see me, nobody says, "Hey, Dr. Jackson." They say, "What's up, Chuck? Hey, Chucky, what you doing?" Nobody calls me Letitia in my family. But I said that to say, because I changed my life, people think I'm, because I'm saved, I'm a, well, yeah, they think I'm slow, they think I'm a coward, some people think I'm mean, some people think I'm the biggest bi, they think I'm arrogant, sometimes they think all of this stuff, but I'm real and I'm one of the most genuine people, and I'm not trying to sell it to you. You can ask anybody. I just don't procrastinate with people. So because I don't do that with people, or I don't, if I have a conversation with you 5 minutes, you're gonna know, and I'm gonna know if we'll ever talk again. And it's just simple as that, because I've done too much prison time, 2 federal bids. My first offer was life in federal prison. I don't have time to play.
Mm-hmm.
Then to go back with another sentence. And after I didn't get life, I got 13. So it is what it is. But I don't play with my time, and I don't play with people. I don't have time. I done been through too much. So when I walk in the room sometimes, no, most times people already have judged me before I walk in the room. That's why I can't get the radio interviews, the TV interviews, that people don't come out and support me, because I don't play. When I come to drop some jewels, deliver a message, and to be about my Father's business. And I'm coming to bless somebody. I'm a blesser. I'm not a taker. If I walk in the room, it's because I want to be there. If I don't want to be there, call me what you want, say what you want. I'm not putting them miles on my Rolls Royce, and I'm not putting them miles on my G-Wagon. I'm not putting them miles on my 2 Mercedes Benz. Not gonna do it. And guess what? I'm dead free. I do not play. So it is what it is. They judge me. I went in the store in Highland Park. This is the truth. Because I was African American. This was some years back. Now I can go in there and get them, and then call them back and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you my credit card number over the phone."
Mm.
But when I went in there, when I first came, that people judged me. So, oh, you know, is she coming to buy some? Or, she went to prison. We can't trust her. We don't want to donate to her charity. I get that a lot. People don't want to donate either because I went to prison, or either it's because of what I have. And our people, and this is a little teaching, as a whole, we get intimidated because again, like I said in the beginning, they think the only people can be millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, trillionaires is the people that have titles and accolades. And that's not true, because you can take their honorary doctors off the front of my name and I'm still gonna be me.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I'll come in there with some Walmart sweatpants on and pair of $2,000 shoes. You wouldn't even know it, because I'm going to always be me. And my prayer every night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and every morning when I wake up, is God, keep me humble and keep me accessible. I got a housekeeper. I got a personal stylist. I got all that. You wouldn't know that when I walk in the radio station, because guess what the people do? They go crazy over the celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. I'm seeing it firsthand. I pay the celebrities to come here, and then the people,
Talk to them.
that's what they do.
Yeah.
Like I'm Pookie off the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because I get it all the time. Oh, I'm not donating to her. My husband takes care of me. My allowance runs my nonprofit. And guess what? January 15th made 11 years since 2015 that I've been running my nonprofit, paying payroll, paying graphic designers, paying for acting class for my grandson, giving money away when people call me. My wife need cancer medicine. Somebody need this, somebody need that. My baby don't have no Pampers. Half the time I don't even tell my husband. I just be like, send me proof. They send me
Mm-hmm.
proof. Let the board and shelter call me and say you in a domestic violence situation, and here I am calling my daughter, yo, go take this money over there because blah blah. Because I'm real. Because nobody did not one thing for me when I was in prison, not one thing. And none of those churches, these prominent churches in Texas that I heard about. I'm in prison in Louisiana waiting on the feds to pick me up. And I wrote the churches here. My daughters are there. This is who they're living with. Can you take them to church? I don't want your money. Not one church wrote me back. So I love it now when I walk in the room and they prejudge me. Guess what I do when I walk on the stage, especially if they pay me? I walk up there, I say, oh, let me do this first. Thank you guys for prejudging me when I walked in the room. Now let me tell you who I am. So let's set the record straight. This is who I am. This is what you pay to do. But guess what? Everybody in the world, I can't, that book is somewhere in one of these desks. I don't want to get off the camera. It's called 3 felonies a day. Everybody in the world commits 3 felonies a day unknowingly. And here's the deal. Nobody in the world is free of sin. I see you. I would have never known you. I can't even be around 9mm. They're going to send me back to the feds. I'm just saying in general, you just don't know people be going through. You know what I'm saying? Or will have gone through. And then we prejudge people. That's why that pulpit pimping play is so serious. We're doing it again May 23rd on the fairgrounds. Because we too quick to judge people. We want to read the book. We want to judge the cover. You read the book. You look at the flyer and you see pulpit pimping, and somebody texts me out the blue time. You might want to change the name of your play. I text them back and say, did you text the right number? For God, we'll play in November to write in 14 days, to have 3 rehearsals with Javon Johnson from the Tyler Perry Show to Oval, 3 days before the play. Because we came to the radio station and they have a play that was standing room only, and to win. See, when I do stuff, I ask God to give me a way to win, but also give somebody else an opportunity to win while I'm winning. So even when I'm asking people for donations, you're not just giving me a donation because I'm giving you something back. Every time I may say, give me a donation, I might give away a purse. And I got 80-some purses in there. I just do stuff like that because it's just in my DNA to be a giver. Even when I was broke, I had my son, before he died, 5 best friends. They sleeping at the foot of my bed and I couldn't even take care of my own kids. But I've always been that person. So it don't bother me no more. It used to, but it doesn't. My pastor used to say, if you can't piss on them, stand on top of the church and let it roll down on them. You can't worry about people. He said, because people can't get you to heaven, but they'll help you get to hell quick by getting you out your character. So since prison don't cook the food I like, I'm going to let a lot of people make it. I don't want to go back to prison. The food not good. I spend too much. I spend more money in prison than I do on the streets. So since they don't cook the right food, I'm going to stay at the house, Shani. I'm going to stay at the house. I ain't messing around.
So, but yeah, that was when y'all came to the station. I felt bad in the interview because I kept talking to you more and then I kept messing his name up, and I was like,
"He did that though." Everywhere else we went, now I'm the one paying for radio promo, I'm paying for this, paying for that, and they don't want to interview me because I'm nobody to them. When I'm the person that can help you change your life.
That part, I was like, I felt bad because I'm like, I ain't even talking to him. I tried to include him a little bit, but I'm like, no, we need to talk to her.
Yeah, I went on somebody podcast one day and I was like, baby, if y'all get food stamps, let me show y'all how to flip the food stamps. Because it's so bad. Legally. I used to do that. Listen, I couldn't cook. I couldn't cook a lick, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. It was never my thing to cook. So I didn't learn how to really cook until 2013, 2014, right? No, 2011 and 2012. I'm sorry. So my pastor that passed away in Louisiana, he had a restaurant. And every month I get my food stamp, I'm always fussing like, I can't believe these people give me, how am I gonna pay some bills with this? You can't pay bills with this. You can't do this. So I was like, I found me a way how to make some money. I would go to the grocery store and buy all this food. All kind of chicken, hamburger patties, everything. I would take it to my pastor restaurant and let him cook it. And baby, me and my children be flipping pay. We be selling plate lunches all over Bossier City and Shreveport. We be hitting all the warehouses and everything. But I was tripling my money. See, people be sitting around thinking, oh, I'm broke, I'm busted. Again, that's why my book is so important. can you see her yet? How long do you stay in that situation? If you at my giveaway 11 years straight, you need to get it together. I always tell people, if you're in the same predicament on February the 23rd, 2026 at 7:55 p.m. that you were in last year, February 23rd, 2025, 7:55, you disrespectful. Because God has given you too much opportunity from then to now. You ought to have at least $5 more than what you had last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just I got a new shirt or something. I mean, you got to do something.
So, Dr. Jackson, I have to ask you this here because you're similar to me in some regards. In regards, when God gives me something, I instantly act on it. I don't wait around. I don't move. I don't waver. I just implement it. How do you keep people? Because I know how I do it, but how do you tune out the noise of people trying to discourage you from doing it or making you doubt what God has given you? Because a lot of people that watch the podcast, they're visionaries as well, but they're doubting themselves because of the noise in their head.
That's a word right there, because you got to know who you are. You got to know whose you are, and you got to know where you are and where you're going. Because see, you have to be strong, man. And we got too many weak people. I tell people all the time, see, when I was not a coward in the streets. So why am I gonna get with God and get scared? I'm confused if you think that's how it's going. So what I do is I always rely on the fact that the joy of the Lord is my strength. And see, if I do that, it don't matter what. I don't care who it is. I'm just gonna. It could be my husband. It could be my children. It could be my best friend, and she not where I'm at in life. She be ready to fight. I call on the phone. She be trolling my Facebook. Somebody will say something, and she be on there. B, you talking to my friend? Like, oh, like, God, don't do that. You can't do that. You gotta remember, I have an image to uphold. But my point is, I have to block all of this stuff out. And this is crazy, but it works for me. I fast 3 days a week. People be thinking people think fasting, you say, oh, we fasting, or we our whole church on a fast. I fast for me. And let me tell you something. I'm not even saying this lightly. I be talking to God sometimes. The other day, I'm getting ready to do a daddy-daughter dance at the men's prison. First ever done in Texas, June the 12th, right before Father's Day. I'm going to provide the tuxedos for the inmates, the dresses for the daughters, brand new dresses, shoes, videographer, 5-star food, catering, everything. So the other day, I was like, God, I done stuck my foot in my mouth. Here go my allowance. Now, this going to take $20,000, $30,000 to pull off. And I got 2-3 months in. I got to play in between. I got a speaking engagement. So I'm like, okay, God, but you told me I could do it. And I said, if the warden approved it, they didn't want to approve it. I say, God, if it get approved, that means it was you. So that means I'm going with it. I fasted for a few days. I'm riding in my car. People from the prison phone system, security technology, text my phone. It's like, this the prison phone people? That y'all ought to give anyway, because these people spend thousands of dollars on the phones trying to talk to their families. They said, oh, we're excited we heard about your daddy-daughter dance. We're going to be a title sponsor. We're going to send you $7,500. We're going to help you get the dresses. We're going to do all this. To change the floor in the gym at the men's prison, it's going to cost me almost $4,000 just to turn it into a dance floor and to make it presentable. But that's what God gave me. So my word to somebody on tonight is, nothing beats a failure but a try. And if you never try, how will you know if you'll succeed? And so I just don't worry about what people say no more. I used to. And even if my husband and I disagree, and he may not like my vision, and sometimes I come up with some stuff and he'd be like, that's you. God showed that dream to you. That's your dream. So, and I understand it and I respect it, but I don't let negativity, I don't gossip on the phone. I got 500 and some unread texts, 600 missed calls. I don't do none of that stuff. I don't deal with nothing that's not relevant nor conducive to my life. And it's just simple as that. And when I write when everybody go to bed. So I come right here in my office, and whatever God tells me, he gives it to me in here. And then I'm going out there and I'm doing
I love that. And it's funny how we try to bargain with God. Like you said, God, if this is you telling me this here, they're gonna say it's okay to go. Well, we already know it's him that done told
No,
us
he
to
already
do it.
said, asking you
Yeah,
shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall
yeah.
be. If I give you a vision, I'm already. You talking about 11 years doing a nonprofit where every year I bless 300 kids for Christmas. Every year I take 10 single moms to Walmart. The new car sales manager at the Rolls Royce dealership, and I take these people to Walmart and we split the ticket. He paid half with his credit card. My husband and myself, we pay half with our credit card. Every year, 300 kids for back to school. I may wake up in the morning. That's why he be fussing at me. I woke up one day and went out to the outlet in Allen and bought $6,000 worth of brand new clothes. He said, "Who told you to do that?" I said, "God." He said, "The next time God tell you do something, go back to sleep." I'm over it. Don't let God tell you nothing. And now I'm out there sitting in the back of my Bentley. That's when I had my Bentley. Sitting in the back of my Bentley in the inner city where he grew up at. He from here. And I'm passing out brand new clothes. And these people, and it's just about the smiles. These people are taking the dirty clothes off the kids, putting them on the brand new clothes while I'm sitting right there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do what God tell me to do every time because I already know I can't lose. I can't lose with the principles I use. And it's God's principle.
Wow. So and then okay, so Shani, I'm gonna shift to you. So I'm gonna ask you this question here because even when I spoke with you earlier today on the phone, and just even seeing you tonight on the podcast, like your energy is infectious. Like you have this radiant glow about yourself. I don't know if you've identified this in you or not, but you do. You have like this radiant glow. But I've heard all of this stuff you share with us on tonight. How do you keep that? How do you keep, because it's like you bring people into you. But in your head, you got the world is crumbling, seem like.
Yeah, that
But
part.
how do you keep that going?
I think it's just. Well, I know it's just me. That's how God made me. Because I hear that all the time. I hear what you saying all the time. I don't really see that, but I'm starting to understand, like with everything that I've gone through, like when I got diagnosed with cancer, that was a big one. Okay, God, okay, you done did all this stuff. Why this? Because cancer. When I heard cancer, that was the death sentence to me.
Right.
That's what I heard. You getting ready to die. So, but I understand more and more why he created me the way that I am. A lot of people think I'm a pushover. You too soft. You too nice. No, that's how he created me. Because that same soft person uh was about to set her husband on fire. So you see,
Now you was gonna be in federal prison.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, honey. I
With
I I look
with
good
the
in
nasty
orange.
food.
Orange is a good color on me.
You know what?
So as nice as I am, it's that line of disrespect, and I think that, and of course, the enemy knows what that is. But no, literally, I poured gasoline on him and was getting ready to light him up.
Oh, wow.
So because and some of that is because people think, oh, she pushed her. I can just get over her. I can just keep doing her like that. I can just keep doing it. And it take a while. But once you hit that button, and I had to get rid of that button.
Right.
I had to because I did find myself in jail for having a fight. And they said, listen, we gonna let you out of here. The judge said, I'm gonna put you on probation. But if you have one more fight, you doing 5 years at least.
And how did
So,
you get rid of the button? You said you got rid of the button. How did you do that?
child, it was
Because
a
I think a
whole.
lot of us need to do that. Get rid of that button.
Honestly, it's a whole lot of praying. I isolated for a while, got with myself and just started looking at me, trying to pay more attention to things that I liked about me and focus more on me and not so much what people didn't like about me or
Right.
what irritated them about me. And I didn't focus on what people, once I understood everybody is a human being. We are all human beings. We all have different feelings. It is
Right.
okay for us to disagree.
Right.
It's a way to do it respectfully, and that's the thing. There's something about that disrespect. You call me the B word, I don't know what's gonna happen. But not just going off once I'm pushed, because that's the crazy part. It takes so long for me to get there. But then when I get there and you push me over it, now all of a sudden I'm crazy. No, I'm not crazy. I kept telling you stop stepping on my foot.
Right.
I kept asking you. I asked you nicely. I told you to stop. I even tried to nudge you to make you stop, but no, you just wanted to do it. And so, ta-da! But we got rid of that. Because like even today, the situation I told you about,
Yeah.
and when I found out who it was and figured out where she was, no, you about to try to make me lose my job. And if I lose my job, that affects how I take care of my children.
Right.
So, and I'm already in a situation. So to me, honestly, them was fighting words. You know, it's no, no, I need to come see you because
Well, can't be doing
we can't do this. You know, not like this, Karen.
Yeah.
We can't do this. You know, like I said, orange look real good on me, but I'm not trying to, you know, I got on red.
But
Right.
You
Dr.
know,
Letitia said the food is nasty. You don't want to go back down there.
listen. I'm like, Dr. Letitia, I need you to bring my kids to see me. But we're not going to even say that because I'm not going to be there.
They already
But,
know I'm coming.
but,
Somebody
but I just think people have to be able to say those things. You know, they say don't say certain things, but you got to get some stuff off. Some stuff I have to get off my chest because I hold so much trying to keep everybody else at peace. And it's like Shani is having this battle on the inside that nobody knows about. Nobody knows because everybody like, oh, Shani can handle it. Oh, Shani, all right, she can figure it out. I can, but I don't want to. You know, sometimes I need a break.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask both of y'all a question before we go home, and Shani, I'm gonna have to get you back. Well, I'm gonna find you in 5 years because we're gonna be connected still.
Okay,
Because I
yeah.
want to know then this answer as well. So, do you ladies believe, without everything that has happened in your past, do you believe you would be who you are today? The amazing, brilliant, strong, creative person. Do you believe, without all of those things that have happened to you in the past, do you believe you would be this woman that you are today? And we'll start with you, Shani.
No, I wouldn't. And I'll go back to, you know, how sometimes we had that hurt from our parents and our families for not loving us a certain way. It's a situation I went through with my dad and his family, and I love my father passed September 6th last year.
Sorry.
I love my father, and we came to terms with our relationship. Now everybody didn't know that we had our way of communicating, and we came to terms with everything that had happened. But like with his side of the family, I love him too. I don't like everything that they did. I don't like the relationship that I had with my father. I wish it would have been different. I don't like some of the things that happened with my mom, but my mom never abandoned me. She was there. And I always tell people, I would never be the person I am if they didn't love me the way that they love me. Because I know they love me. Even though they, you know, did some things that I didn't necessarily like. But if they loved me in a way where they pacified me and I was daddy's girl and I was the prince, I couldn't handle none of this. I'll lose my mind. I would completely lose my mind. So everything that we go through, and that's what makes it easier at this point, because now I understand that, you know, I had to go through cancer so I could help other people learn, because I didn't do chemo or radiation. They wanted me to do 22 rounds of chemo, 12 rounds of radiation. I was like, no, it'll kill me. I found God showed me how to heal my body naturally in the Bahamas. And I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about fruit and, you know, grass that grows from the ground. He created. So I'm able to share that story with people, and if they take it, you know, they take it, they don't. But without going through everything, even the situation today with that lady, I need to go through that because there are some things since I met Letitia at the station. Right behind you, somebody else came in that was having to play that night. They've asked me to be their manager, both of them. Okay, so I need those things to help me be able to navigate when I'm faced with something else, because I can't just cuss everybody out. You can't do that.
No,
You got to know
that'll
how
make
to do some things. So, and then I also had to learn, go through all of this, like I talked about giving of myself. Well, I wrote my book, my second book, Shani, How Do You Do It? A Mindset Manual for Women Who've Had Enough. It's not necessarily for women. Men can read it too, because there's a 31-day challenge in there to help you learn how to prioritize for yourself. This is not no love story. It's not about a man that broke my heart. It's about me not taking the time to do the things that I need to do for me to be happy, because nobody is responsible for making me happy but me.
it's good.
Love that. So, Dr. Jackson, what about you? What same question? Do you believe without your past, you would be who you are in the present?
Definitely not. I don't think I would, because when I was little, I've always been a thinker, and I can remember as far as back then, like 6, 7 years old, and my dad had just started preaching, and we stayed in the hood in Louisiana, but we had this big old tree in front of the house, and I used to sit in front of the tree. This is the truth. My husband laughs, and he make fun of me sometime when he get to playing, but I told him I would talk to that tree. That was the only thing I would talk to. And I had one sister, and she was younger than me. And I used to ask God not to let the world come to an end, not to never let me have kids, not to never let me be broke. Like, I didn't want to live in poverty. But then me asking God those things, I became a drug dealer at 16 years old, facing a life sentence at 21, getting 13 years in federal prison. My dad taking my drug charge and going to prison for me. They gave him 15 years stay. My mom divorcing him because she said he loved me more than he loved her. All of that stuff. Had I not went through that, I couldn't deal with my own daughters. I have 4 daughters, 26 through 39. I couldn't deal with people when they trying to run game on me. I tell people all the time, you may get me one time, but you're not going to get me the next time. And I got street sense, book sense, common sense, and spiritual sense. So see, all of that stuff I went through, each one of those, a lot of those things were entailed in street sense, book sense, common sense, and spiritual sense. So I couldn't be a business owner. Never went to college for one semester. Never had a job in my life. Never used drugs. Never drink. Never hoard the streets. But I was focused on what I was focused on, and that was not ever being broke. Just being honest. And I'm not saying nothing. Some people get content, but I always say, Lord, I thank you. Content and complacent, and that's okay. But if you want better, God has it there for us. So that's always been me. I wanted something different with my life, but I've been at a point where I was homeless. I've been at a point where my sister was living with the lady that turned state evidence on me and sent me to prison. And I wouldn't even go in the house and send my kids in there to take a bath, and I go take a wash off at the gas station. You wouldn't believe that seeing me now. So of course, all of those things make me respect everything that God blesses me with. It make me respect other people. Some people say, "Oh, you got that car and you go play for that little old Baptist church. How much they pay you?" I don't even take a pay. Whatever they give me, I'll take it. If they have it, fine. If they don't, fine, because I'm not there for that. But all of those things help me be wise, help me be respectful, and help me understand that whatever I want, I can have it. It's just I gotta be in alignment. Whatever you want, you can have it. Whatever you want, it's there. But in order to go through, people don't understand. And Shani, this is a good word, because of your spirit and how you going through what you went through. He just said you got this radiant about you. I tell people all the time, you don't understand what happens after the storm is based on what happens, how you act while you going through the storm. So a lot of people miss their blessings and what's on the other side because they don't know how to act while they going through it. So I just learned to be mindful. All of that stuff I've been through, I'll be mindful, I'm aware, and I'm focused. And I stick to the script. I stay in my own lane. I do my own thing. And whatever's not in my lane is not my thing.
Yeah. And I love how you said when they're going through it. And I think that's what people don't get. When they're in a storm, they think they're in it and that's their permanent place. But when you're going through it, that means you're going to go so far and it's going to end. It's going to come to an end. Just keep pressing through it. It is going to come to an end. And I don't know, tonight has just been simply amazing. And listening to you, Dr. Jackson, I try to live my life. I don't live my life a half empty or half full glass. I just see something in the glass and I'm grateful for it because I know how it feels to have a full glass, but I also know how it feels to have an empty glass. So when you got something in it, you're grateful for it and it just makes room for more. It just makes room.
I was having a conversation earlier today and we were talking about how people, it's a lot of people that's got it, Shani. You know some people, they got it. They're not givers.
Yeah.
But we're talking about when the woman was in the Bible and she had the last shekel and she gave it and God blessed her more than he did the ones that had the most and they gave the most is because they did it willingly. And a lot of times people think, oh, I'm at my wit's end. This all I have. I can't do it. I don't know what else to do. But you got to learn to just stand on it. You said it. It's a lot of people that's praying to be in your situation. They see you, you look pretty, you smiling. Oh, I wish I had what she had. A lady told, this guy told my husband this about me, about his wife. He said, my wife said she wish she could have what Dr. Jackson had. She wish she could do what she do. I say, ask her, do she wish her mama would have died? Her daddy would have died. Her only son would have died. Her grandmother died. I done got stabbed in the face. I done got beat in the face with nunchucks. I done got robbed by the Colombians and left on side road. Baby, what else you want to go through to get to where I am? I just need to know if you can handle it. Because if you want it, let me start praying for God to send
it your way.
Yeah, see if she can handle this.
Because I tell people, I always ask, I say, what size shoe you wear? They I wear a 9. Okay, I wear a 6.5. So if you put your foot in here, it's gonna be kind of tight.
It's gonna hurt. You're not
and if I put my foot in yours, it's gonna be too big. So
I love this. So we got some comments out here tonight. So let's see here. We love you. Letitia, your life is a movie of inspiration. I agree with that. And then they said, God never gives up on us, even if we give up on him. Yeah. That's so true. And then so this one was to the question, what do you, is there something you've done that you look back in hindsight and see it was God helping you? And she said, breaking off my engagement was a blessing in the long run. It hurt in the moment, but God, yes, I love that.
And because sometimes holding on hurt more than just letting go.
Yeah, and that's what it's a song on the project that says, staying is hard and leaving is hard. Bet on you, at the end of the day, because both of them hard, but sometimes you got to get out of them situations because
I did a message one time. They asked me to speak somewhere, and my title was God will put your disaster on public display to redirect your journey. Mm-hmm. That's all he just did for the young lady who said they broke off the engagement. He'll let it hurt you to your heart just to redirect your journey because he's got something greater for you later on. And then the same thing that happened with my son. He was killed in Louisiana. And every time I walk in church, I would get depressed. My church was a kind of big church, and I feel sorry for you. He was my best friend. We did everything together. If the rent was due and we didn't make the money in the clothing store, he would load all the merchandise in the truck and he would hit all the gas stations. Mom, I got the rent money. 17, 16. And so that disaster that was on the news, his death was on the news. Everybody in Louisiana knew it, and I couldn't take no more. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I lived in Baton Rouge, 4 hours from my church, but I couldn't I wasn't happy in no place. And I came to Texas with an air mattress, a TV, and my daughter and my clothes. But look at God now. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So just when he redirected, just stay in your lane and stay positioned so you can and stay focused so you know where he's sending you to.
Stay positioned. I love that. Stay positioned because all of this is prepping and position us for something different. You
Yeah.
got to stay in position. Oh, you got to stay in position. So, Shani, you thought you're going to let something sneak out and we weren't going to pay attention to it. But you
Well,
said you have a book. You ain't said nothing about no book to me. So tell
yeah,
us about
I
your book.
have.
You
So
thought
I,
that was
I
going to
have
slip
two
out.
books. The first one was I wrote that in 20, I think in maybe 2021, 22. It's called The Rough Side, The Soft Side. And that it's a book of poetry and it has a short story at the end and it deals with the depression. Like that's how I dealt with my depression and suicidal thoughts at the time. Now, last year I dropped Shani, How Do You Do It? Shani, How Do You Do It? I can't even think of the name of it now. But the new book is out. You can get it at my website at MediaRoom360.com. And that came about one day I was at that station. I was so upset. I was so mad. I was just frustrated. And it's crazy because I wanted to get back at the station so bad. And I did. But then you get in this cycle of things and you want more. I always want more. Always want more. And I was just frustrated with everything that was going on. And all I was doing was working. I was working and then I'd be at the track meet because my kids ran track. So it was track meet, work. Mommy, I need this. Mommy, I need this. And I was just at my wit's end. And one of my friends called me from Chicago and she was like, Shawnee, when you gonna drop one of them books you got? Because I got a couple written. I just haven't published them. I said, I don't know. And I'm frustrated because she's talking to me and I'm trying to be on the air at the same time. And she just kept on, you need to, just send me one of the manuscripts. I'm going to put it out. And I got frustrated with her. I didn't tell her. I was just like, all right, girl, I got to go. I'm on air. She frustrated me so bad that by the time I got off the air, I had written a whole new book. And that was Shani, How Do You Do It? The Mindset Manual for Women Who've Had Enough. Because I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired of giving to everybody else. I'm tired of doing everything that everybody else tells me to. Because her calling me saying, let's get the book done, to me, that was her telling me what to do. And one of my big problems in life was that I was a people pleaser. So whatever my mom wanted me to do, that's what I was going to do. Didn't matter if I didn't like it. Whatever they said, oh, you need to marry this person. I don't want to get married. But then I ended up married. So, just learning those things about yourself and the why this irritates you, why this. So I talk about that in the book. And then at the back of it, there's a 31-day resilience challenge that every day there's some steps in there. You fill in the questions and go through it. And it's crazy because after the book dropped, I had to read the book and do the work because I started going through something with my kids. And I had to go through it. I said, well, shoot, God, I wrote this book for me. Thank you. But every month, I get that email from Amazon talking about my royalties. I be like, hey. So thank God for the book. But I encourage anybody to get it, male or female, because guys, we go through a lot as women, but guys go through a lot too. A lot of my friends are ending up in the hospital, dying of hypertension. And there are stressors that, you guys have that. Now, for the most part, as a black woman, now I wasn't thinking about what you was going through. Because I'm going through this. This is what I'm going through. And I'm by myself with these kids. If I was a man, I could find a woman that would come over here and do everything for me. As a single mom with 2 kids, I can't find a man that I can just say, okay, you take them to school, you pay these bills, you make this. No. I got to figure it all out. But I understand now that, our black men go through a lot too. So the book, either one, you can be a woman or a man. It just got that title on it.
So she said you can get it at MediaRoom360.com, and I'm gonna go get my copy tonight.
Thank you.
You can rest assured that I'm getting my copy tonight. Media360.com, so you can get your book there. And then, Dr. Letitia, tell us one more time, where can we get your stuff, your books? Because how many books you have? 5?
It's 4 on my website.
Okay, 4 on your website.
I also have a luxury shoe line on my website.
Yeah, I saw you got some nice shoes out there. I saw that. And she's a life coach. You ain't said that either.
Oh, I forgot all about that. I just life coached y'all. Oh, yeah, I was like, okay. I just gave y'all all the game, a lot of game. Game applied means elevation. You got to apply it.
Mhm.
So you can find all of my stuff on LetitiaScottJackson.com. Anything about me, the nonprofit, I have it connected to that. My short film about my life, Gangster the Grace, working on it, and the play. And it seems like I'm all over the place, but I marry all of that because all of that money goes right back to the nonprofit. I always ask God to give me a way to bring in resources because I use my allowance. And I don't really like, I didn't know. I say God has a weird sense of humor because why did he let me start renting cars from Enterprise, taking people to the prisons? And I didn't even know what a 501c3 was. That wasn't my thing. Talk about that in the streets. So when I found out what it was, I had to legalize the business. And once I legalized it, everything it aligned itself. But everything about me that you need to know is on LetitiaScottJackson.com. And I think they may have a free 30-minute consultation on there, whatever. But I don't mind showing people, simple as this, you need the book because if you don't know the 70-20-10 rule to managing your life and it's mastering your money and your mindset and your credit. And so all of this has been a proven strategy for me because I was a drug dealer. I didn't care nothing about my credit. Somebody need to hear this on tonight because the Bible tells us that our name is more important than silver and gold. And so if you can walk in a room and sign your name and get 50, 60,000 or $20 if your kid's hungry, or you need a car and you don't need no money down, you got to remember that your name is more important than your money. God says that's in the Bible. This is not something I made up. So when I learned about the power of my credit, and we got all these fly by night credit people, all this stuff, everybody doing taxes, everybody doing credit, everybody doing this. But God gave my husband an anointing. We talked about the business. We came up with a plan, and he rebuilt the software. You wouldn't imagine the clients that he have. He don't even see them. And it allowed us to become God-made millionaires and part owner of 7 emergency rooms. You don't see that when I walk in the room because I come in there humble. I come in there like the Pookie the crackhead because everybody running behind the celebrity. So I just stay in my lane.
She don't come in there like Pookie the Cracky.
I'm
I've
just dropping some jewels.
I've seen her walk in.
But the thing is, life is so simple. And if you want it, you can have it. It's so simple. I'm telling y'all, it's so simple. I want to jump out my chair because I wish I would have known this before I sold crack. I cooked cocaine and I sold it. I ain't never sold no weed. It wasn't enough money in it for me. I wanted quick money. And when I got out of prison, I asked God, I need something. Because if I don't get the money that I was making or close to it, I'm going back to prison. The judge said, if you come back before me for drugs, you're getting life for real this time. Not in state prison. I ain't never done no state stuff, federal. And guess what? That's how I got the tax company. And the man fraud my company. I taught myself how to do taxes. And I'm making enough money in 3 months, 100,000, 80,000, 75,000, and I'm paying my bills up for the year. I always figured out a way. So somebody listening is going through this struggling, baby, it's a way. That's what I'm just gonna lead them with. It's a way. And Letitia Scott Jackson, Google, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I got all them pages besides Letitia Scott and Keeping Families Connected. Y'all just Google me, and I do respond if you need some advice. I'm not gonna give you all the game, and you're not gonna pimp me. That's not my platform. Pimp me out my talent, my time, but I will give you a few jewels because it's simple principles. And that's all we need in life is simple principles.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So everybody, you can follow Shani. We're going to give her information out again. You can follow Shani on Instagram and TikTok as Shani Scott on Air. Again, that's SHANI for those that are listening. Shani Scott on Air. Or you can go and visit her website, get her books, and even book her for an event. MediaRoom360.com. That's where you can find her. And Dr. Jackson, you notice I've been calling you Dr. Jackson and not Dr. Scott. I'm for your husband. I'm
Please
boosting him.
don't mess my allowance up. I ain't gonna I tell people, I don't care where I'm at. It could be 3,000 people in the room. Listen, y'all can't leave that man name out because that's where my allowance come from every Friday. Nobody's family gonna be connected if he get cut off. I'm just saying God to do it. But anyway,
Yeah, but you can
straight.
follow Dr. Jackson on Facebook at Letitia Scott,
Yeah.
and Instagram. You can follow her at Keeping Families Connected, and TikTok, just Tisha J. So you can go out and follow her there. And then again, go to her website, LetitiaScottJackson.com. Ladies, this has been an extraordinary night, and I am so honored and appreciative of Jack. I'm about her breakfast tomorrow for connecting me with y'all, because this has been simply amazing. And Shani, I'm gonna tell you this here. You know, anybody who knows me that know I'm their friend, once, you know, because we connected forever. Me and Dr. Scott Jackson, we connected forever as well. But I tell you this here, once my friends tell me their dreams, you know, that friend that you said got on your nerves because they kept asking you. I'm the male version of that friend. I'm gonna constantly ask you because I want you to win.
Okay.
I want you to win. So I'm gonna be asking you. So that, and Dr. Jackson, I look forward to reading your book. I already got my copy. I look forward to reading your book. And when you have your book signing and everything, let me know, because I'm there to support
Working
you.
on setting it up. And Shani, I'm gonna order
well, we want to have a book signing for you. That's the
Oh,
only hold up for your interview.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, we got to have something where we can support, where the people
Well,
can
I
come and support. So okay, so we'll
Excited about
set
it.
that up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and let me know, Shani, because I want to be there. I definitely want to be there.
Okay,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, guys, everybody that's out there listening, look forward to seeing you all next Monday, 7 p.m., same time. Next week, we have Marcus Williams as the guest, and we're going to be talking about the song Break Those Chains. So we will see y'all next Monday, 7 p.m. Dr. Scott Jackson and Shani, thank you, ladies, for being here on tonight.
All right, y'all having a good night. God bless you.
All right, peace.
Yeah. Real life stories and transparent conversations, hustle and grind, love and relationships, with all the tools for living your best life. It's the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. The Dope Ass Dude Podcast.